So you've probably already figured out that Slack and Pipedream are like the chocolate and peanut butter of messaging and automation. But did you know you can embed actual form elements into a Slack message using Pipedream? All of a sudden your message becomes interactive. You can add in fields like text fields, buttons, drop-downs, and selects right inside of a Slack message. And when a user clicks on them or selects an option, we can subscribe to those events in Pipedream and trigger a workflow from that input. So I'm gonna teach you how to add that. It takes your Slack game to the next level. We're not just automating pushing messages, but actually receiving events from users interacting with your messages. This is really neat. You can add this to a slash command for a bot. You can make a user onboarding flow. You can make an approval flow. I mean, there's so many different options. But first things first, let's get set up and send ourselves a message with an element. Right, to set the stage, I made a brand new Slack channel so that we have a nice clean slate that's easy to work off of. Find the Slack API documentation, and right here, there's a build and prototype visually section, or you can just use the link in the description below to find this builder. And here we can see there's a way to build with a block kit. Visually, you can add sections and actions, all kinds of cool things. I'm gonna take away this complex example. We only want one button to work with, so it's really simple. There's multiple buttons here, so I'm just gonna remove 2 of them and keep 1. So here we can see it's called Farmhouse. I'm gonna change this actually to just say, click me to trigger a workflow. And then one final little tidbit, there's an optional action ID that acts as like a specific ID on this particular button. So you can give it a very specific name if you'd like, whatever you choose. Actually, I'm gonna put my name in front of it just to show you that it's just an arbitrary text. Cool. So now we have a block. I'm gonna copy just the array portion and forget the blocks key itself. I'm gonna go back to Pipedream and I'm gonna create a brand new Slack step and use the block kit, send message using the block kit. And here we can configure it. So this is in the public Slack, and the channel is this brand new channel I just added, right? Pierce's Playground. Pierce's Playground. And the blocks I want to enter, I'm just going to paste in what we did in that block kit. So this should send a specific message with this button included in the Slack message. Heading back to the channel, you could see that the Pipedream bot added a button. Now we haven't wired up the workflow itself yet, so nothing is gonna happen. Now this is the next step, is to wire this button up to a Pipedream workflow. So heading back to Pipedream, we're gonna use a separate workflow to actually listen to interactivity events. So I'm gonna choose Slack and then new interaction events here. Connect your account. It should be the same account that you used before. And then here are some optional fields, the action ID or the channel. By default, this trigger will listen to all interaction events across your account. Whichever channels you have access to, it will listen to interactive events on. So we can actually filter this based on channel if we'd like. And here I can just once again search for Pierce's Playground, and it will listen to all buttons or all drop downs, any kind of special interaction events in this particular channel. So I'm just gonna call this new Pierce's Playground interactive events, create a source. All right, now our source is created. You can see here is an action required to generate test events for this trigger, and we've already added the button. So clicking this button will actually trigger our workflow to run. Now, the first time you run this, it's not going to be instant, it's gonna take some time, but you can see here that a new interaction event has been detected from the channel and the action ID Pierce button click. Awesome. So we can open this up and we can see the data that Slack gives us. And here you can see the user that triggered it, which is me, the channel it belongs to, Pierce's Playground, the message itself, it's a bot message. One of the more interesting things is opening up this actions array. And here you can see the action ID we passed. See, it's arbitrary, as well as the value itself. This action ID is great to filter on, and the value is great to pass arbitrary data from, say, a select menu or a text field. So that way you can record this data, put it in Google Sheets, put it in Airtable, whatever you'd like. So the next step is I want to send a reply to the original message saying, okay, I received the button click, all good. So I'm gonna add another action here, choose Slack, I'm gonna send a reply to a message thread. Here we go. Set up our Slack account. Once again, I will use my public account, and the thread timestamp will be underneath the container. You can see the special message TS. TS is short for timestamp. This is how Slack will detect that this message should be replied to that specific thread by the timestamp of the original message. The channel we know, of course, is this is number 3 of us doing this. We'll do Pierce's Playground. And the text will be, you click the button. Cool. Finally, we'll test this. And we should head back to Slack and we could see, awesome, on the right-hand side, when I triggered the workflow, it sent a reply. I'm gonna deploy this, and now we can just click the button and receive a reply to the original button's thread. Pretty cool, huh? So this is a really, really simple example and only filtering based on the channel, but don't forget you can use action IDs to make very complex bots. Just pass in the action ID you define when you're sending the initial message, and then that way this workflow will be very specific to that action ID. Please let me know what you build with this. We're gonna be using it a lot in the Pipedream public Slack. Trust me. Hope this was useful. Have a great day.